This is Light Up, and today we're just simply talking about our children, their social circles, their friends, and whether us as parents we have the power to influence who our children's friends should be, or whether we don't. But at the end of the day, there's also to analyze what can a parent do in this realm of influence. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, Hassan, our children will have friends, they'll make friendships, they'll build social capital. Whether it's long-lasting or short-lived, that depends on so many factors. My only interest is, as a parent and you're nurturing this young person growing, what role do you play in how they build and maintain their social capital, including friends? Or is there even such a thing? Does that even happen? Or at the end of the day, as a parent, you have totally no influence whatsoever on the kinds of friendships or social capital that your child is going to build. And again, this is one of those realities that doesn't wait. Your child is not going to build friends when they're 18. They can. Or even when they start working, they can. But I'm saying that this is also one of those things that can go in tandem as they grow. But as a parent, what influence or what part do you play in that?
Thank you very much. In my opinion, I would say we have so little influence, so little, and at different stages. When the kid is just 3, 4 years, 5, this kid is interested in eating and playing. Where she sees or he sees there is fun, those are the friends. Where a friend can give, a friend is eating and they can share this thing, that's how they spread the cough and the flu. And they can share this thing, that is the friend. So you have control. You can say, my kid doesn't go to that area. Let me not see you cross over to the other part. The kid will stick there. Then as a certain age comes, when this kid has gone to school, again, that's a different matter altogether. Because there's so different things that attract this kid to different people they relate with.
Within.
It's not easy. It's not easy. It is not a must or a guarantee that a person who is, let's say, is going to be a sports person, is aggressive, is whatever, gets people within the same. Though it may be average. But there's so many different things. This person can lend me his pencil, we can share a meal, we play together football. Different things attract these kids to these different people. When they're adults again, that's again a different reason to go there. This guy can give me, can connect me to this one. This like he has a friend who has this, I want this. He has his laptop, I want it. He can give me data. They do so many different things again. We can hang out together. So it depends upon how God has blessed you. Because this thing I cannot say we have control. We don't have control. Society has control. Because when you let this kid go, you have let this kid go and face the world. There are these inherent things that this child must have picked from home. Through your talks, through your communication, through your guidance.
And through what you do as a parent.
How you behave at home. Because monkey see, monkey do. You know, this kid sees you peaceful at home, talking to your wife once in a while. Every weekend you sit together, you have brunch together, you pray together, you go to visit relatives, you go and see a BCD. At home, even you have a space where you can play football, have some sports and play with your kids, you know. This kid sees that.
And they are part of that.
This child will look for that out there. This child will be attracted so fast to what they see at home out there. But again, out there has much more than what you provide at home. So this child will begin adding on his plate, because this is a buffet.
Yes.
He'll go on adding more, the salads, the what, not knowing that he's putting a lot of fats which are dangerous, a lot of this, don't drink and eat fast. And he won't know, just eat. But when you got guidance from home, that don't drink before you eat, there's always that subconscious thing that comes and says,
reminds
but am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
But is this okay? The guidance from the parent leaves those questions that pop up every time we do something. Are you sure you're doing the right thing? Am I not going to be in trouble? Because when you're young, you're a hero. They say, Richard is right, yeah, you're the champion, you're the winner, the powerful, blah, 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 blah. He wants approval. But when you're a young adult, you fear to disappoint your parents. How will my dad say that, hear that I did this? There's nothing you start fearing. You're cautious not to disappoint your parents.
But also what you're saying that in this line, when you build a consistency in terms of values and guidance and behaviors in this child, it becomes a habit.
Yes.
That when they go out there with all the spiced varieties of things that are happening out there, it's easier on them to resist the temptations, if I may use that word, and stay true to what they believe, because that value and habit and character is now who they are. And I think for me that is the test, that a child will look at something out there, however enticing, and say, no, that's not me. There you've really hit the mark, you know? So even in terms of friendships, the kinds of people they choose to bring in, the types of people they choose to stay close to, must have a certain conformity to who they are. However, at the same time as you said it, I don't take lightly the fact that you said out there, the world can be overwhelming, but it can also be a big attraction. And I think children or young people growing up can struggle because, and I say that because even us when we were growing up, strict parents or no strict parents, we went out there and honestly we made mistakes.
Yep.
I call them mistakes because you do something and you say, but this is stupid. But between when you do something and when you sit back and say, that is not something that I should have done, is probably a few years later, a few mistakes with repercussions down the road and a lot of things. Back then I can say the mistakes could still cost you, but I'm not going to weigh. Nowadays, some mistakes can be fatal.
Yep.
Nowadays, some mistakes can be irreparable, that you can't walk it back.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that can give a parent a lot of fear. You know? You see, the beauty of being a young person is sometimes you rarely think about consequences. Or even when you think about consequences, you say, so what? There is less accountability. But what spiked that thought was when you said, will my parents approve of this? That is an accountability caution in your mind, and it's a very powerful one. How do we bring them to a point where they say, how will this look? My name attached to this or associated to this? Because I think then that you're talking about a formidable person with a character.
Now the real point.
Yes.
Family values. Family values. They will not give you 100% achievement.
Yes.
But when you have this thing being held so high, the word you used was choice.
Yes.
The parent has no choice in the type of friends you make. You have, the parent guides you, grooms you, puts certain things into you that you value them, and you know this is good, this is bad. I see this, I should expect a B, C, D, and much more. This kid grows, comes in and faces the world with this at the back of his or her mind. Then it is the choice of the child, depending on what was imparted into him from home, that he can allow in what kind of friends. The choice remains with the child. What kind of friends are you allowing in and for what reasons? If this is a deprived kid from deprived family, like it or not, will be attracted to those well-off to do kids and what they have. Most likely.
Regardless of what it is.
He'll end up trying to go there because it's attracting him. But with the right upbringing, with the right caution, with the right communication from God and with God's blessing, this child will say, nope, I don't hang with those guys. They're talking about expensive things, our fridge, during our time.
Yeah.
Video player.
Those are important
video
things.
player. Now we have a decoder. Now for us we have a double fridge door. Double fridge. We don't even have a fridge. Talking about double fridge door. So there are those kids who say, this may not be the right people for me. And they pull back. Because a time to get those well to do, when you're doing well, those guys will come to you. When you are doing well in class, those kids will come to you. If you're doing well in sports and excelling in anything, things will automatically come to you.
Because you have value.
You have values. So this child has the choice. The choice is with the kid. The choice is with the kid.
Is with the kid,
Yeah.
but the role of the parent would have been to prepare them to always make the right choices.
Like how they prepare us to face the world. Your dad doesn't come and say, you can do this kind of job. No, they prepare you. Even in school and universities where we go, they just prepare us to face the world. And for us to go with what we've come with, and then see how you can put the pieces together, see which path to take, see what to avoid. Because at the end of the day, life is good. You love to have a good life and enjoy, go to holidays, go whatever it is, but there are restrictions to that. Same as when you go to the world, don't just go and pick every friend because there's something within you that controls. Long ago, our fathers used to have this thing you said, how will my family know that I was involved in ABCD, in robbery, in drunk driving, in ABCD?
And it would even go beyond the family. It was my family, my society, my people.
Now kids of these days are like, how will my friends? Because their friends are here on the phone, not you people at home. My friends, how will they approve? How many likes am I getting? How much am I getting ABCD? But when this kid gets a challenge, none of those friends will be there.
Everything goes
It will be the
back home.
family. That's where they are learning it the hard way.
Yes.
Like you said, let's just pray that at that time, this thing is reversible. But in most cases, the kid has become an addict. He has got an HIV. He has got, you know, all those challenges that come with those.
They've run
Yeah.
with the idea of let me do this, let me do that, and then they are losing time
So
and
let's
then falling back.
let the parents just do their role, prepare the child, communicate with the child, talk about everything, anything and everything.
There is also another question related to that. You just said prepare the child. I say this not out of sheer speculation, but out of concern that if you look at how fast advancements are taking place and how fast things are changing, sometimes I can't help but to think that as parents, either we have to measure up, gear up, be present,
Buckle up.
buckle up, and walk away from the set
Laid back
mode. Because society sometimes now presents us with fast-paced developments and challenges that you wonder if all parents today are well equipped. Why do I say that? Because there was a time when parents didn't mind so much as long as schools had taken over the education and the like. And the education back then in the 80s, early 90s and before, seemed to be, let me say, holistic in the sense that the teachers and the school administration and the entire system seemed to focus on the child beyond even mere academics. But in brief, it could be explained that the numbers were not overwhelming. A teacher would be assigned maybe 25 children, and they work with those children across the year.
And knows all of them by name.
By name.
And their parents.
How they are progressing, their parents, they look in depth. In today's world, the system is overwhelmed. Every school you go to, even good schools like you would assume, oh, that is a very expensive school, so they must have moderate numbers. All schools are overwhelmed with numbers, you know. From a business sense, I would say it makes perfect sense. They are making a killing. But the danger or the worry I have on the part of the parent is the buckling up requires a lot and it has to come fast. I'll give you an example to demonstrate. Recently, there is a viral video going around of a lady. I don't know whether she's a minister, an expatriate, a member of parliament. I didn't look into those details, but she was giving an account, a technical account in a high-level meeting, clearly. And I think she's from one of those Scandinavian countries, maybe Sweden. And they are talking about the fact that their country is walking back on this idea of education, which is ultra modern and all equipped in technology, iPads. Children are now getting lessons online. They have to refer to research online and everything is just high tech up there. They're saying, no. We are walking back to textbooks. We are going back to pens and pencils, books. We are going back to writing. Yeah? You'd think that in this modern era where we have AI and the like, you'd say, what has happened to that country? But they already see something. And whatever they are seeing is indicative of serious red flags that they are worried. And they are saying we have to reverse this course. Now, when I try to take that understanding, and I don't know fully, because she said there is not detailed research on how effective the current trend of taking AI and putting a lot of technology in education, how effective it is, but it's rather something that they are concerned about and they want to walk it back. Now, you come back to us and you worry and you ask yourself, where are we, number one, in our societies, in terms of how we can relate to what's going on in education, what role we can play. And now when we look at all these advancements as parents, can we measure up? Because all these advantages and all these advancements in technology and the like all filter into this whole idea. When you said friendships, you said our children, friendships are here on the phone, on the iPads and the like. And if you ask a parent, just go around randomly asking parents, are you the parent who is equipped to make the necessary interventions when it comes to digital media and how your child uses digital media effectively and efficiently? You would find a lot of parents who would not measure up. In fact, some of the parents would easily say, these children of today, my son uses the phone in more ways than I do. Me, I call, I receive, I do mobile money, that's it. But the son is now telling me he's into cryptocurrency, is this and this. Indicative of the fact that that is their world today. That is the world where our children are. It's a digital world. However, as a parent, if you want to talk about cyberbullying, if you want to talk about cyber friendships, if you want to talk about online friendships, you know, nowadays you find young people who talk about online dating.
Yeah.
You find young people who talk about friends, but most of them are
virtual friends.
They are virtual, you know? So more and more young people are getting sucked into this virtual world. My question to you would be, what about the parents? How equipped are they to navigate, advise, help?
Thank you very much.
Considering that at the end of the day, they still have no influence over the friendships.
The parents had so little influence before technology, but somehow they were maneuvering and they were succeeding.
Okay.
Now, with so many factors, coupled with the main mixer, the spanner in the engine, which is technology.
And now with AI.
Technology. This AI thing, smartphones, name it. Things have become, our children are living life in the fast lane with no stop signs. You know, here in Uganda, people are driving on the road, but they don't understand what the language of those lanes on the road mean.
Yes, I know.
And so many signs on the road they don't even know. Once they get on the wheel, they can go enter in the road, indicate, beep, and whatever it is, fuel the car, finished.
You understand why in Uganda you hear a lot of beeping. People just drive with horns.
Yeah, they just do horns.
Yeah.
Even they don't understand the language of the lights. They don't understand that. So our children, the same way, have entered this world, leaving it in the fast lane with no stop signs. And that is technology. That is AI. That is the phone. Why I say living life in the fast lane with no stop signs? Once you just swipe and it opens, if there's no password, the world is open. You can rest. Go to education, agriculture, porn, whatever it is.
It's all there.
It's all there. So, those guys out there are the ones who set the trend. Europe, US, Asia, China, they set the trend. The rest of us follow. Why? Then they have the resources to do research and to market, and they have the power and control on the media. They understood it. They understood the power of media. That's why they're advocating so much for free media, so that they can let all the crap go into media without control.
Yeah.
To them, it is marketing. It is business. To us, it is a lifestyle. To them, it is business. So, the way they do this thing is they research something, they drop it in the market, world market, they let it out. The same guys are the guys who have seated in the car with the rear view mirror and the side mirrors and the windscreen. They see much more. But when they look back through the rear view mirror, they are seeing something not pleasant. Like when you're driving on a dusty road and you look back, you see there's dead people are doing this and everyone is fighting, you know. So with them, they've researched and discovered that where we are going, this is business. We are selling ABCD. We are going crypto. We are going to this. We're going to this. Say, but this. They said, no, there's something they're missing. The best example I can give you is the quality of people we employ today when they come for an interview. Very many managers are disappointed. Kids can't construct something sensible. When you ask something, anything out of the box to give you, to check someone's, to pick his brain, you realize you're talking to a primary 6 chap or an S2 chap when this guy is a graduate. These guys have observed that the kind of products coming out now has an issue. There's an issue you're missing. Why? AI will do for you the essay. AI will do ABCD. You go to an exam with a tablet, just an open book exam. Huh? For us before, we used to learn something, they tell you something, they dictate notes, you listen, your brain masters, your eye sees what you're writing with your hand and pen. Big combination in that level where you can't lose everything to zero. Your brain is forced to think, you're forced to think, to do things practically. We need a practical world. Yes, we need technology, but the practical world. Yet our youngsters, they just look at the hype, the how do you call it? The excitement, the thrill that comes with the technology and the media.
As you said, we get lost in that trend.
We are lost completely. Completely. Those guys have realized that whatever they're sending here, now there's a challenge. The products coming out of that use of the AI and ABCD are substandard. In Uganda, substandard. Substandard products. Now they're like, guys, we need to go back. We need to reset. And because they're the trendsetters, let me tell you something. Very soon in Uganda, you'll hear a program being sponsored by the Swedish government of doing ABCD. How we got programs of washing our hands, using the toilet. Haven't you got those programs? Circumcision, are they from Uganda? They're from there. The same guys will come because they realize the danger. They realize the dangers in it. They're going to come back with a program. And we shall follow that program. Why? Because now the world is a global market. It's a global village. Whatever we do now, you should be able to do it here, Sweden, Canada, UAE, name it, because it is the global trend. We shall go back to paper. Do they have AI in Arabic? We ask AI in English, not in Arabic. In Arabic, mostly, you have to write. Even those sheikhs, whatever they learn, you have to be in class and attend, not online. No, your physical attendance is very important. It means come with a book and a pen. That's why our kids at that learning stage learn so quickly, because they write. They go over things, the consistency and this and this and this. But now we're jumping to things where even our countries have not yet reached that level. For example, I don't mean to, I'm a Ugandan, I'm patriotic, but we are not at the level of crypto. The level of AI, we are not there. We are still struggling here with our kids sitting on the floor under mango trees. We have for us, we have, our challenges are not those. Let the guys who go to university struggle now, go ahead. But for us at the beginning here, we should have had some control. So, a child's choice of friends, people to hang with, are currently being influenced more by society out there, not by the parent.
Not by the parent.
By the phone, what they see trending, who is on TikTok, who is on Instagram, what is trending on X, those are things they're looking at. But again, when you go and check the kids who have been brought up with some values, they'll look at those things,
but go back.
But their sieving thing will be very strong. They don't, it will be airtight almost.
Yes.
Airtight. They can see, but they don't just jump in with both feet. Because of the caution you got from home, you don't try the water, the depth with both your feet. You just do this, and it's like guys bathing. They say the boys fear to bathe. They don't like to bathe. So when they're trying the water, there's a way they're trying to dodge it. Like, they don't just go in full swing. So
full immersion.
Boom, immersion, no. So the parents can play their role. Never get tired of communicating with the children. It is weird, but we do most of our expenditure on our children. It's school fees, their upbringing, upkeep, hospital, taking them out, even the choice of car, even choice of house. Now you see you have 4 children, now the girl's bedroom, everything you do, the children.
And I think it also
even the car, choice of car. I need a session on gun because we are 7 people in the family. You don't want you coupe, you sports car, that's it.
I think that speaks to the responsibility that is welcomed of parenting and looking after the children, with the fact that all these things are done with love and with commitment, but looking back on some of these challenges that come as dynamics, social dynamics, that yes, you took your child to the best schools, or you took them to the place that could offer the most appropriate education. You're trying to raise them to become somebody, but then these small social entities just keep coming into the dynamics, and at the end of the day, they can either make or break that which you are trying to build. So it speaks to us to think about what can you do, what can you play as a role. And I think when it comes to the social capital of a child, how they are going to grow, the kinds of friends that they are going to make, as Hassan was sharing, there is so much we can do. A lot will be played by the child, but from Hassan's premise and sharing, at least what I saw was that at an early stage, you play your role, instill all the important values you must to this child because it's important, so that inevitably when they cross that threshold, which comes very soon, the moment they become preteens, teenagers, they are making friends, go to university, and then go to the open world, get married. All those are friendships, build lifetime friendships and the like. How they are brought up, the kind of value system they have, and how you've engaged them so that certain things that are not that important don't oversway them. And so that at every stage when they are making decisions, these decisions somehow have an influence that can help them to make the right decisions. And I think at the end of the day, that's all we can do. And as Hassan said, we are believers, we are faith people. You pray to God that we hope for the best, that the best happens at the end of the day.